Welcome to the Edge. We're going to do a short piecemeal interview with Skip. I asked you earlier, you want to buy your own home, you want to own your own house.
Yes, absolutely.
You know in 04 and 08, in that period, there was a lot of stuff went for nothing. It did. You missed that. I missed that. I had places. Perfect.
My parents bought a home around that time, and then we also experienced a crash where they lost their jobs, like we lost our cars and everything. Yeah, eventually, yes.
So you're going to be in a position that you still have funds that haven't been lost some other way. You buy something up from a dime on the dollar.
That's the idea, because now that we're in another recession, being in this position, all I can do is take my money and put it away and do nothing with it. So I can take my money, invest it in something that I can keep forever, and then when the housing bubble goes back up first, I've got something in my name. Even if I don't want to sell it, I still have something to own, and I have equity. You know what I mean? So
this guy would have you invest in stock market. I never would.
I don't fuck with the stock market.
So if you want to be a conservative investor, simply by either buy gold and hold on to gold.
Right.
It's about $1,800 an ounce. Sounds a lot. You can buy half ounce. That type of thing. You buy it and earn gold. If things get terrible, you have small amounts of 10% of an ounce, say $180. You can often trade $180 into something really good.
Right.
Somebody sees $580 I can use to buy 2 months of food, and I don't have a house, but I have money to feed myself and my family. They're going to take that, and they give you what they have. That's what happens in a major depression.
I've been there.
So you tell me about you've been there. What does that mean?
What do I mean? So when it comes to being in a position in which there was no way to feed my family,
You need to go. Let me know.
Yeah. Sorry.
We'll be back. You're on, Augie.
So I'm supposed to comment?
Yes, you are, man.
Yeah. You're seeing now, not so untypical American. Fairly sure they can't trust this economy to come back from anything. The promise that a vaccine will be around at the end of the year, maybe. Not in time to save the politics of this time. Leadership is not trusted. Major conservative people like George Will are referring to this as a rolling, blundering giant that's out of control with no leadership, and just simply ignoring the supposed leadership or the leadership that we do not have. What does leadership do? It doesn't dump its responsibility to the people. Everybody's responsible. Nobody's responsible. It doesn't do that. That's the leadership we have that does that. True leadership does not do that. And so what has happened? Hey, governors, you take care of the states. You do this, you do that. It's not my fault, it's not my fault, it's not my fault. And so now you find out that all is said and done. His own relatives are saying he was incompetent in business. But that's what we're stuck with. So you have people like Skip here who wants to save herself through this bad period of time. How long this is going to last? Can she make enough money as a waitress? Protect herself? Said she's used to living on the street. Whether you sleep, you have a car to sleep in, what do you have to do? We have children in schools sleeping in cars right now. And then I have a friend who teaches in a technical school, and he has kids living out of cars and coming into school with the same clothing on day after day after day, unwashed, hair unwashed, barely surviving. And some people are making some money, it's true. But the poor are growing in numbers. You can't step over them forever. They'll get in the way. So now on top of everything else, we have wandering Nazis over in Portland, Oregon, arresting people just for having a mask on. probably protecting themselves against the virus, being arrested because they might be a protester. That's so similar in Europe, in Germany, in the 30s, when Hitler took over. He disbanded the parliament in 33. And the Nazis were on the streets. Everybody that was criticizing the government went to jail. But the poor people who here, like Skip here, they were poor and the money was worthless. So Hitler did one thing that's not being done here. It was pretty smart. He decided to build an interstate highway system. And it was the first one. It put everybody to work. The goal of the country was work makes you free. Work makes you free. At the same time, at about 35, it was jailing people, making work camps, concentration camps. Concentration camps, putting people in cages. Oh, that sounds so familiar, doesn't it? We're putting people in concentration camps. Now we're splitting families up, separating children, but they're Hispanic. They look Puerto Ricans. They are Puerto Ricans. They're too brown to be white. We separate them. Let's do more of that. And so we have to find who the enemy really is. So we've got the Nazis running around doing that. No marks on their chest, who they are. They're not sheriffs. They're not state police. They're not federal marshals. What are they? They're police for our leader. We're trying to silence people. He believes in the Second Amendment, but he forgets about the First Amendment, which is protest. And so we have a situation, so when Skip comes back to tell about her plight that she's going to be facing, she's also going to be facing the fear of objecting to what's happening to her, and is she possibly going to jail for objecting to that? That's quite a fear to have. The people of Portland are going through just that right now. The mayor, the governor, the senators are all objecting to that behavior by this unknown police force. The Nazis had one, the SS, and they did that sort of thing in Germany back in the 30s. Now America is looking at doing the same thing. So I'm going to tell you one thing right now. We're going to cut this off at this point, and when Skip comes back, we're going to continue the interview with her and her plight. But that is where everything goes. The ordinary worker struggling against all kinds of odds, going bankrupt possibly, and at some point in time, just trying to survive this very big mess. See you in a bit. Please subscribe to The Edge. Thank you.